You're listening to The Real Short Box, a comic book podcast made for geeks by geeks.
Hello and welcome to The Real Short Box. My name is Jarrett.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Donald.
And today, much like in the past, there's been episodes where we do our dream teams. We do our Justice League, our X-Men. And today, it got a little broad. This is The Real Short Box's Suicide Squad teams. Now, we got a little funky with this one.
Right.
We said, go across all comic publishers, everything.
Yep. Anywhere, any place, anyhow. And then I threw a little, not a wrench, I threw in a little bonus gift. Like a little, shiny star in Super Mario Brothers that's going to let you kill everything. And I said, hey, why don't we add in also to give like a kind of structure to our team, who would be like our Amanda Waller of the Suicide Squad? Who would be like our operations commander, so to speak.
Person who basically has the gun to the head.
Exactly, right. Who gives the impetus to this team. And as we always do, we always text each other before and say who our teams are. That way we have no overlap. And I got to say, these teams have zero overlap. There was no, they're so diverse. It's beautiful.
Yep.
So, yes, and we also stuck to the 7-member teams, not including our commanders.
Right.
So to
Commander-in-Chief.
Commander-in-Chief.
And also an alternate member.
An alternate member as well. That's right.
Right.
So, without further to-do, let's start off with Kevin Green.
Kevon is what I like to call him.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Hello out there, brothers and sisters of geekdom. My team, my Suicide Squad team is called Cosmic Vengeance.
Ooh. You fancy.
Yes, I am. And my team is led by Jason Wynn.
Nice.
Who's Jason Wynn?
You know, from the Image Comics series Spawn. Very,
I don't know him.
You never heard of him before?
No, who's Spawn?
He was like the puppet master, kind of, right?
Yeah.
He's a government guy?
Yeah, he's kind of a government guy. Almost kind of Commander Waller, but even more.
Wait, Jason Wynn was Spawn or became Spawn?
No. Jason Wynn he's like a human being, but someone who's like a government guy. You know, someone
Black Ops.
A Black Ops guy operates in the shadows.
Oh, okay.
He was like a Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I'm in.
Matter of fact, in the movie, which is this year's 20th anniversary, it was played by Martin Sheen.
Was it?
Jason Wynn.
The Spectre Gadget?
No, Spawn movie.
Oh.
I was going to say, there was only one.
Michael J. White, and then Jason Wynn was played by
John
Sheen.
Leguizamo.
Well, John Leguizamo was the clown.
The Violator.
Yeah.
See, I remember
He's
Wynn
the
from
only
the
good thing.
Wynn was from... which is fair to say, Leguizamo's awesome. Wynn was... I remember him from the animated Spawn as well.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the nefarious puppet master of the Black Ops.
Great series, by the way, which unfortunately never really concluded, but still a great 3 seasons on HBO.
Didn't you write an ending to it, though, Kevin? That you were always going to pitch to McFarlane?
Sure.
Well, wait, we got him right here. Hi, I'm Todd McFarlane. And sometimes things are dark and sometimes things are light. And that's why in this episode of Spawn, you might see Al deal with some things you never saw him deal with. What would you do in these situations? I'm Todd McFarlane. All right, go ahead.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, thank you, Todd.
You're welcome. See you guys. Whee! Todd McFarlane away.
He just jumped out the window.
Man. Yeah, you guys, if you're in North Hollywood right now, which you won't be because, this is some other time, but, whatever. If you read in the news, Todd McFarlane, we just went on a crazy kill rampage in North Hollywood. Go on.
Does Foster beer actually help you to speak that way?
It's Foster's.
Foster's?
It's Australian for beer.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
I'm not drinking that. It just randomly came up. I'm drinking it.
Right.
Well, Jason Wynn, in order to control this particular team of individuals, he uses a mother box and the Mcron crystal.
That's some powerful apparatus there.
Oh, wow.
It's a way to get people to do what you want.
The Mother Crystal and the Mcron box. Insanity.
No.
What?
An Mcron crystal and a mother box.
I don't know what that means.
I don't think you're drinking enough whiskey, sir.
I don't think I am either. More whiskey, please.
Whiskey? And who would your team consist of?
My team consists of first Strife, Cable's clone, and he is the leader.
I had his toy.
Did you know?
Yeah, I got Cable eventually, but the first one I got was Strife, and it was because I was like, I could pretend he's Cable.
It's pretty easy. Take off the mask. He's
Right.
Cable.
I was like, I could pretend he's Cable, like in disguise, like in the villainous, like he was undercover. I was clever when I was a kid. He's undercover, and he's gonna like expose all the bad guys.
See, I would just be like, this He-Man toy represents this figure that I don't have one made of. Like, I would just be like, He-Man, this He-Man toy is the Constrictor.
Oh, yeah.
stuff
I've
like
done that. Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
wasn't originally Strife kind of saying that Cable was the clone? And
Yes.
he was the legit guy?
They played around with that. You were thinking at first that Cable was the clone.
Because he had all the weird,
He's got that weird
metal
organic
appendages.
metal, and that Strife was the real
Right.
Nathan Dayspring, so to
Right.
speak. But when the truth came out, that hurt poor Strife's feelings, and he lashed out.
There was an Executioner's song.
Executioner's song.
Oh snap!
And there's a reason why they call him the Chaos Bringer, because as you know, he created the Legacy virus and gave to Mr. Sinister to unwillingly unleash, unintentionally unleash upon the world.
Or as we call it, mutant AIDS.
Pretty much.
And by we, I mean me right now. Mutant AIDS.
God.
No joke. So Strife, I figure, would be a good person to be the leader of my team.
Right. No, great choice.
And he also would be a strategist as well. Obviously he's a brilliant tactician. But to go with that, though, the official brain of my team will actually be Black Manta.
I like the Manta.
Black Manta is known for being a brilliant tactician.
Wait, is this guy black?
Actually, he is.
He is
What?
black. He's an African American.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He is a brother.
It's funny you mentioned Black Manta because somebody was asking about on our Super Palookas group on Facebook, which is our, we're all part of it. It's our comic book group. We just talk everything comics.
We're nerd out.
Yeah. And somebody was saying, I had no idea who... They were watching Young Justice, the cartoon. They said, I had no idea who Black Manta was. And I said, really? Like, you don't remember him from the Super
crazy,
Friends?
right?
And he didn't know. And then he was saying, like, I don't really know his origin. And I was like, oh, wait, I don't know his origin. So I looked at the tome of information, Wikipedia, and they've given him some different origins. And one of the most messed up and realistic ones was he was kidnapped by some fishermen.
Yeah.
And forced to work on the boat. And while he was on the boat, he was being abused sexually and physically.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
And one day he sees Aquaman, like, playing with a dolphin out in the ocean and tries to wave him for help. And Aquaman doesn't see him. So it festers this anger of, like,
rage.
Yeah, this superhero didn't help me. And he ends up killing, like, the guys who were tormenting him on the fishing boat.
My God.
And goes and later becomes Black Manta. And I was just like, that's a fucked up origin. And yeah, like, I'd always get, hey, Aquaman, remember that time I was getting raped? Yeah, you were just playing with the dolphin. I waved, I screamed. You just kept playing with the dolphin. Thanks, asshole.
Yeah. Now time to die. That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow, what an origin.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. That's amazing.
No.
Yeah.
And disturbing.
Who do you have next? Not to just
Oh, yeah.
gloss over that.
Well, my muscle is the Great Red Lantern, Atrocitus.
Nice.
I like this one. When you told me about this one, I got a huge atrocitus-sized boner.
Atrocitus, when I first started reading him probably about a good 8 years ago at this point, right in the middle of all the things leading up to the Blackest Night series.
Right before you fought everyone at Comic-Con for those figures.
Yes, for those figures. I thought he was a very interesting character because he wasn't just simply a guy just raging off. This guy lost a lot.
Yeah.
And he had a right to be pissed off at the Guardians of the Universe. I mean, they kind of did him dirty when the Manhunters came in and decimated his home world, and he lost his family. So I can understand where Atrocitus' rage comes from. This guy was a family man, just trying to live his life like anyone. Being a working man, good family man, and all of a sudden it's all taken away from him.
Out of characters created in the last 10 years, too, he's endured pretty well, too. He's got a good fan base.
He holds up.
He's going to be in the upcoming Injustice 2 video game.
As he should be.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
As he
looks
should
awesome.
be.
And the cool thing, too, is he's got his little special thing is he has that Red Lantern cat that he can summon. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And, I like him. I mean, that red ring, as you know, is powerful.
Right.
I mean, it brings the fury.
He spits fire.
It was like bloody fire.
Yeah, same thing.
I mean, it's no
Blood,
joke.
fire, blood.
So having a guy like this on the team goes a long way.
Yeah.
My next people. Actually, we'll put them together kind of because they're both operate the same way. They're clandestine people. I have Chapel and Valiant Comics Ninjak.
Nice.
That's an interesting duo.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous duo.
It's kind of like G.I. Joe. You have Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes together, working together, killing people.
Now, Chapel, I remember from Youngblood, and then they ingrained him into the Spawn mythos with he killed Al Simmons, yeah. And once again, if you watch the animated show, Chapel is portrayed pretty dirty in that one.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Not a good man.
No.
But he's also a tortured soul. I mean, as you know, he's a tortured fella.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, aren't we all?
Goddamn Mo. Where's my Prozac?
Now, my transporter in the group, for all intents and purposes, I am going to use Mr. Reverse Flash.
Nice. Mr. the Reverse Flash.
Hello, I'm Mr. the Reverse Flash at your service.
Nice to meet you, Mr. the Reverse Flash.
Professor Zoom, why not? You know,
okay,
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, you might as well call him by his name since he earned it. He went to college for that, Kevin.
Yes, he
Reverse
did.
Flash. Never a big Yellow fan, but a costume for some reason pulls it off.
Yeah,
I love
really cool.
costume.
Really cool. I think it's Flash issue number 80
really?
Of the Wally West run in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. I think it was the early 90s to mid 90s. It was a cool fucking cover. I think if I'm recalling the right issue, it had the Reverse Flash on it, and it was tits.
Really?
Tits.
The tits.
Wow. The tits.
You don't say.
Who else you got?
I got my wild card, Omega Red.
It's a good one.
Definitely a wild card.
I mean, the first time I saw this guy was when I was a kid, about 25 years ago, when that comic came out, where you saw Wolverine's skin was torn open. You saw
on the new X-Men series, yeah.
And you see Omega Red just jacking him up.
That was a cool story too. It went right after that whole opening story with Magneto and the Acolytes, and then it went straight into that Omega Red story, and that was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at him; he's just a badass. I mean, you got those coils. Saps energy out of you, or saps the light, or can potentially kill you.
Yeah, it takes life force or something.
And
right?
they may have the Russian version of adamantium, carbonadium
or something
like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And
so many goddamn metals.
Russians.
You have something against the Russians?
No, not at all. In case we're conquered.
I don't. I'm here for
I love the Russians. They're good.
In Soviet Russia, Omega Red kill you. Yeah. That's my Yakov Schmidt.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, carbonadium coils. That's what they are.
Oh, nice. Yes. Da.
Yes. And then to top it off, my alternate member in case when things get really, really nasty in all these multiple universes all these multi-universal threats they're fighting, the Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a person that can destroy a goddamn planet, right?
Yes.
Right.
She killed those cucumber people. Remember that? That was the Chris Claremont, John Byrne, the end of the Dark Phoenix saga. That was that's why the Shi'ar were she has to die. The Phoenix has to die.
Because she killed the cucumber people.
She killed the cucumber people. I forget what they're called, the Dabari, I think, or something like that. And because they just show this one clip, and it's one panel of a cucumber mom or something holding her cucumber baby going
she was sliced and put on a cracker.
Well, no, it was just they were just going to be obliterated. It was just going to be the Phoenix Force.
In the comic, didn't she kill billions of people?
She was not a good person or not a good entity.
Well, the entity,
Yeah, whatever.
A misunderstood entity,
Right.
Tried to do good, but then got corrupted too,
Yep.
So that's your team?
Yeah, Lobo I wanted to throw in, but you know what? That might be a little too much.
Yeah, Lobo's a little too much power.
He's also probably legit been on the Suicide. That's what I try to stay away from people who have been on the Suicide Squad. Because there's so many.
Whatever.
So many.
I stole somebody.
That's fair enough.
I cheated.
I'll give you one.
But basically, fellas, this is my Suicide Squad, Cosmic Vengeance.
Cool.
Hailing all threats from any universe.
Diverse. I liked it.
Thank you.
Yep. I was originally going to go with a title called The Naked Squad. It would be all these characters, but they wouldn't be wearing clothes.
Just Adam Warlock naked.
Right. But I thought it probably wouldn't get made.
No.
And if it did, some pervert would do it in his, mom's basement or some shit. So I was like, okay. So the name of my team is called 7 for Suicide.
Nice.
That's my Suicide Squad.
Sounds like a cool emo band too.
Right.
Yeah, it does. I'm about to say that.
Orange County's own 7 for Suicide.
Right. I mean, I figured these guys are just going to fucking die. pretty much. I don't see many of them living.
Right.
That's the name of the album.
That's the point, yeah.
These guys are gonna fucking die.
Exactly.
All right, that works.
Suicide's album. These guys are gonna fucking die.
Damn, we gotta
I'd
get a
buy
band
that
together. Getting a band together.
I'd buy
man.
that album in a second.
Hey, man. All right, so my operations commander was, or is, the Chief, a.k.a. Dr. Niles Calder from Doom Patrol.
Yes.
Yeah. May or may not have been created before Professor Charles Xavier. That's
like
constantly disputed, so
Right.
good luck with that.
right.
Dr. Niles Calder is a paraplegic gifted with a genius-level intellect.
God, paraplegics were so hot around that time.
Fucking guy in a wheelchair.
Hey, they get a lot of girls.
Right. He uses his scientific knowledge to develop numerous inventions and innovations that have made him wealthy. Calder founded and organized a team called Doom Patrol to protect the innocent and fight crime, and to teach humanity to accept others who live as ostracized freaks who have been radically transformed from terrible accidents. Sound familiar?
A little bit.
It is Calder's genius that allowed the team members to survive, aka the Doom Patrol, designing Robot Man's body, devising Negative Man's medicated bandages, etc., and helped grant their freakishness and amazing abilities. Calder has sometimes been shown to have a darker side to him, one that could easily manipulate others.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he was definitely in that gray zone.
He was definitely in that gray zone. So I was like, you know what? If there's an Amanda Waller in him, I'm definitely using him. So the Chief, a.k.a. Dr. Niles Calder, is my operations commander. Now that leads me to my leader, a.k.a. the occultist of the group, Hellboy.
Nice. That's great.
Yes.
Excellent.
A little history on Hellboy, in case nobody's watched the fucking movies. Hellboy, or Anung Anrama, as he was called.
I don't know why they didn't just call him that.
Right. Was conceived on October 5th, 1617, the day his birth mother, Sarah Hughes, was on her deathbed. In life, Sarah was a witch who gained her powers from being a consort of the demon Azazel. Azazel? Azazel. Yes, that's it. A Duke of Hell who is also Hellboy's biological father.
Right.
Taking Sarah's body to hell when she attempted to repent on her deathbed within a church, Azazel burned her away. She literally burned her away so their child would be born, and chopped the newborn's right hand off to replace it with the right hand of Doom, a relic tied to the Abdru Jihad. I don't know.
Whoa.
I can't make this shit up.
Shit going on.
When the other princes of hell learned of his actions, Azazel sent his half-demon child away while he was stripped of his powers and imprisoned in ice. Here's where it gets great. The child is eventually summoned to Earth in the final months of World War II by Mr. Rasputin himself,
Right.
off the coast of Scotland, having been commissioned by the Nazis to change the tide of war. As a direct result of this ritual, the child appears on Earth in a fireball at what remained of the ruins of the Bromwich Church. Proving not to be a devil in the traditional sense, but a devil-like creature, the child was dubbed Hellboy by Professor Trevor Broom Brutenholm. Taken by the United States Armed Forces to an Air Force base in New Mexico, Hellboy is raised by Professor Brutenholm and the United States Army, where the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense was organized and created.
BPRD.
Right. Hellboy's powers, guys. He possesses superhuman strength, endurance, a degree of resistance to injury, and a healing factor. He also has the innate ability to comprehend ancient and magical languages. His right hand of doom is a catalyst that will bring about the Ragnarok, basically, the end of gods and the end of days. So that's my occultist and leader.
So what you're telling me here is that on October 5th of this year, Hellboy is going to be celebrating his 400th birthday.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
Mr. Hellboy.
Happy birthday to you. I'll get a blonde wig on right fucking now.
You know, John Constantine and him would get along.
I'll tell you, pound for pound, I feel the second movie is better than the first.
You know what's funny? I feel the same way. That's the one
That's not a bad argument.
That's like the Golden Army. The Golden Army, right? Yeah, I like that one.
It's because Guillermo del Toro went a little more old school, more puppets, more practical. And the story seemed a little more fleshed out, a little more time.
You know what's funny? The guy he fought in that movie, he looks a little bit like Omega Red, but like a skinnier version.
Like a skinny one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So we're going to go then to my weapons master, Taskmaster.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't go wrong with Taskmaster.
Taskmaster's powers. He stated he's had these powers since childhood. He has the ability to mimic the physical movements of anyone he witnesses. He is a mercenary for hire and sometimes partners with the government on training programs, oddly enough. Recently outed by Nick Fury to be a double agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, this happened in 2011.
Yeah, they did like an origin.
He legit got outed as a double agent, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, Taskmaster's a great villain, but, you know, if you want to make him an anti-hero...
Why was like Taskmaster, his whole thing was he trained henchmen.
Right.
Yeah.
That was his big thing.
School.
Yeah,
I love that.
My muscle, a.k.a. the spy of the group, would be Sabretooth, guys.
Oh, well.
Yes.
Oh, Creed, Mr. Creed.
Another victim of the Rep and X program, Sabretooth, a.k.a. Victor Creed, has powers similar to that of Wolverine. He has a healing factor, acute senses, and super strength. The dude's a beast. You know, literally, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's...
Great guy to have on your Suicide Squad, because odds are he's going to survive. That leads me to my next choice in this, which would be the strategist of the group. This is a weird one. I chose Chairface Chippendale from the Tick comics, from New England Comics.
Wow, you went there.
Yes. Oh, sorry to interrupt, everyone. Just wanted to mention real quick about a shop in Canoga Park, California called Spiro's Heroes. Elliot, the proprietor of the store, has over 300,000 books in what's called the Temple of Comics. That's Spiro Heroes in Canoga Park. Spiro'sHeroes.com.
I like that.
Yes. New England Comics, you're welcome. Chairface Chippendale. He has powers. He's a master criminal strategist. He has good connections with the underground villains, and he has a chair for a head. He attempted to carve his name into the moon, but was thwarted midway through, leaving the letters CHA on the surface. Guys, I can't stress this enough. He literally carved CHA onto the moon, and it stayed there. There was nothing they could fucking do. Cha. Let me tell you, who of all the villains has left like a scar like that that's visible every fucking night? This guy's legit. Whether he has a chair for a head or not, he's legit. So he's my choice for my strategist. I have a femme fatale, everyone.
Uh-oh.
Somebody, look at my tits, and then I'll fucking kill you. Okay. That would be Lady Rawhide.
Ooh.
Lady Rawhide is from Zorro fame.
Jesus.
A little bit of her history. Her name is Anita Santiago. She was driven to create her own costume identity.
Whale's vagina.
Yes. It's German for whale's vagina. She created her own costume identity to seek revenge against the commandant of Los Angeles, Captain Enrique Monasterio, who inflicted terrible injuries upon her brother, Roman Santiago. Anita's hatred for Zorro came about when her brother, Roman, was falsely mistaken as being Zorro by the nefarious captain, who shot Roman point blank, which ended up disfiguring the left half of his face. Since then, Anita swore that she would make Zorro pay. Now, what happened was, she fell in love with Zorro. Ooh la la. So she decided, this guy's not bad. I'm going to hang with him for a little bit.
He's nice. I shoot people in the face.
Kiss
but
him
that's
on the
good.
Well, how
neck.
can you resist the power of Zorro?
He's so pretty. He stroke his mustache.
Did you ever put a Z on her?
Oh, yeah, he did. Z for Zagina.
The mark
Wait,
of
what?
vagina.
Yeah, that's I don't think that works. Anyway, she is my femme fatale. Now, she, apart from being an excellent hand-to-hand fighter, she's a great swordsman. In the equivalence of Zorro, she's quite agile, and she has certain assets that are beneficial. If you know what I mean, guys. Guys, you know what I mean.
Sets of asses.
Yeah, she has them trading cards. Now, we're going to go with my muscle. My muscle in this group, Solomon fucking Grundy.
I like that.
Well, there we go. I like that.
Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, ladies and gentlemen. His history, real quick. Originally depicted as a murder victim brought back to life as a corporeal revenant, or a.k.a. zombie.
Right.
His powers, he has superhuman strength and stamina, virtually indestructible and immortal thanks to elemental energy. He is nearly invulnerable to physical, magical, and energy attacks. He withstands fights with Superman, guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's proven highly resistant to the effects of the original Green Lantern's power ring. And he is later revealed to be partially plant elemental. He possesses a healing factor, and he's virtually indestructible.
Yes.
Another great character to have in your squad.
Unkillable people are good.
Right. Now, my 7th character in this is my wild card, the Goon.
I love that one. I'm such a Goon fan.
From the series, the Goon. His powers. The Goon is a tough, strong, large, gristled dude. In his series, it mixes both a comical and violent atmosphere with a supernatural slant, which pit the titular character, notice I said tit, against undead creatures, zombies, ghosts, ghouls, mutants, skunk apes with an unnatural hunger for pies, giant squids, mob, gang leaders, extra-dimensional aliens, and mad scientists as well as robots.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is stacked.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy. He's going to fight for you till the end, until he's fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely the Goon is my wild card. He's a great character. I highly, highly recommend him for a Suicide Squad.
It's like 2 Dark Horse characters there.
Yeah. Yeah. And not actually, the Goon wasn't even originally a Suicide or a Dark Horse character.
No.
Albatross. Comics.
Avatar or
Avatar, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Albatross was the...
Albatross or Avatar?
I'm pretty
or
sure it was
Aviator.
Albatross.
One of
Yeah.
those. One of those. And he didn't like the deal he got, so
No.
Dark Horse was like, "We made a mistake. Come to us."
I think he also, I just was reading too, he like let his contract just run out.
Yes, he
he
did.
just was like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
even going to do anything.
Yep. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing shit. So my alternate is Nightshade. That's the one I stole from the original Suicide Squad from the 80s anyway.
Right.
History of Nightshade. She was first introduced in Captain Atom number 82 as a partner of Captain Atom. Her real name is Eve Eden.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. And her father is a U.S. Senator. She is blonde and wears a black wig. She was romantically involved with Captain Atom as well. Her powers, here's where shit gets real. Nightshade's powers are hereditary as the only surviving member of the royal family of the Land of Nightshades.
Right.
She can teleport herself and others by passing them through the Land of Nightshades. She's my transporter. She can magnify and shape shadows into solid or semi-solid forms. She is learning or has learned to create shadow homuncular, which is basically just like shadow creatures. So she created 2 ravens out of shadows, and she uses them to go like scout for her and stuff. And their names are Hugin and Moonin. I don't know why.
As you would name your shadow created
I think,
ravens.
yeah, after Odin or some nonsense. But anyway, that is my transporter, and that is my team, guys. That is my 7 for Suicide.
That is about as diverse as you get.
So, Jarrett, how are we going to conclude this podcast with your team? I got to hear this.
Well, I went with... I have a theme of sorts, and I also went with... I wanted to do a team that wasn't so much superpowered as mercenary or ex-criminals, people who are either going to be cannon fodder or who could get the job done. My operations commander is Frank Castle, the Punisher.
That's insane to me.
Well, see,
like, okay, let me ask you real quick. When you texted me that, I was like, that dude wouldn't dare stay in like one place at one time. The motherfucker would like be like, I gotta get out there.
Oh no, he's the lone wolf guy. He's the total lone wolf.
Okay.
But there was I don't know if you remember, it was a brief series. It was actually pretty good. It was a brief series in maybe early 2000s.
Not the one where he was an angel of death or something.
No.
Okay.
The one where he got asked by this dying mafia don of this old school mafia family, and he said, I want you to run my family.
Oh, I think so. It wasn't like one of the issues like some holographic cover and he was in an electric chair or some shit.
No,
ponytail.
this was before. This was
Before
what
that.
led to that. That was when they supposedly killed the Punisher.
Okay.
So this Don says, I want you to run my family. And at first he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, my whole thing is to kill guys like you.
Right.
And he was like, don't you understand? Like, one, I'm giving you a family, which you lost. And I'm giving you the means to actually attain power to take on these people.
All the tears right there
Yeah.
when he says family.
Exactly. So how I saw this was the Punisher finally is just like, okay, the one-man army shit, it works to a degree. But hey, remember that time I was that Mafia Don guy? There was something to that.
Mhm.
So what if I round up a team of people that I can work with or just a bunch of people that I can threaten.
That I don't give a shit about.
That if they do die, that's perfect. In fact.
They're expendable.
Yeah, they're expendable. And also...
Oh, that's a movie.
That's true.
And also, instead of... Remember Amanda Waller had like the collars or the arm collars too that would either blow off their arm or their head.
Implants, right? And
or implants.
Shit. Yeah.
But there's always something like that was the threat. So
right.
it's like if you were like a guy that you trusted or a girl that you trusted, you were kind of like helping out.
Right.
Or keeping them in line. But if you were a criminal, it was, hey, do this job, you get your sentence reduced. If you don't and you try and run away or something like that, I'm going to blow your head off.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how the Punisher, but he's much more simple. He's like, I'm going to put my gun to your head and I'm going to pull the trigger. And you know I will. I'm the fucking Punisher.
Right.
So in order to keep these people in line, because he doesn't always want to be in the field, he's going to be, you know, kind of in his van and shit, being like, hey, this is where you got to do it, is U.S. Agent, who I've talked about before.
Hot damn, one of my favorites.
John Walker, the guy who took over and kind of became the evil Captain America in so much for a little while. And then
Azrael of Batman, basically.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then kind of redeemed himself and became a U.S. agent, worked at the West Coast Avengers and several other.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty much just like a crazy Captain America, which to me is perfect for a guy that'd be like, and he's got super strength. He did this
Captain America of less morals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's not
like across the line.
Yeah, he's not like watch your language. He's like go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself, and I will also kill people if they really cross me. Like I will totally kill people.
Yep.
And I have super strength and I can do that. So he's going to be the guy that's going to be keeping them in line. Now, one of their big superpowered guys and super wild card is Threshold. Threshold was the key villain in Gen 13. Total 90s. Was it?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
I only know about Threshold because I got into the book that spawned from Gen 13 called DV8. DV8 was like the bad kids from across the tracks who like kind of fought with Gen 13 and they kind of became their own government team and they were just like very gray, very loose morals. Some of them actually were like meant well, but they just always fuck shit up. And Threshold was kind of like their commander.
Right.
And he has immense telepathy. He's a psychokinetic. He has telepathy and telekinesis. But he is the most brutal I've ever seen in using those powers. He just there was one issue where he was like, I'm looking for information. It was a bunch of soldiers. He's like, do you have it? Because he could read their minds. He was like, nope, popped his head. Do you have it? Nope, popped their head. So he is just like,
oh shit.
Yeah, he's like Omega level telekinetic.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's kind of a wild card because he's got a guy you got to keep in control.
Yeah, Punisher really has to be on his toes.
So I would totally see them putting some kind of implant in this dude. Of like, we can shut your mind off if you try and fuck with us. But super powerful and way easy to get shit done. Next up, I have Garrison Kane, or as we knew him as Kane, another old recruit of Weapon X. He was also in the Six Pack with Cable. He was cybernetically enhanced. He had fighting prowess. I think he was first introduced in X-Force #2 where he's fighting Deadpool.
Oh, I remember Kane. Didn't he have like a red jacket?
Red jacket. He was super good
I got
fighter.
that figure when I was a kid, and I was like, I don't know who he is, but I'll just pretend he does stuff.
And what did he do? One of the coolest things he did is Deadpool. He's fighting Deadpool. Deadpool knocks him down. He could shoot his hand off, and his hand grabs Deadpool's throat and starts choking him. I always thought that was so fucking cool. It was like a mix of like Japanese robots with like a Canadian assassin guy or whatever.
Like if you're in a room at a party and you just want to give somebody a hand job, but you don't want them to know it's you, just shoot your fucking hand off.
And it's like, it's not me.
Right.
Why is your robotic hand smoking now, though? I don't know.
Awkward.
But he was a guy who's like another guy who could kind of keep people in line, but he's also definitely like in that gray zone. He's worked with Cable. He's worked, in that middle area. He's worked with Weapon X, so he's definitely in the middle ground. Then I have some of my, I kind of wanted to go with like as many like obscure villains, which is what they would do in the original the Ostrander Suicide Squad, of just kind of like cannon fodder guys, but guys that you could totally develop. So I saw the Spot from Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh yes, he had all the dots
on him, which were actually interdimensional little portals. So he could be their teleporter.
Wasn't that a cartoon like episode or some shit?
He was in like a two-parter of Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Of the 90s Spider-Man.
Yeah, which was great, by the way.
Yeah.
Great series.
It's really underrated, to be honest.
No. It was right, to me, it was right up there with the X-Men at the time.
Absolutely.
It was just great.
Had a catchy tune as well.
Yeah. But he could also like put like a hand here and punch you in the side. So it's like if they actually train the dude, he could do some really cool shit.
That'd be really cool.
You know, like a little
deadly stuff.
Yeah, some knife coming out
Yeah,
here, slicing
I like
your
that
throat,
a lot.
And he's also the teleporter of sorts. Then I have another loose cannon who, if she went wrong, Frank Castle would not have a problem shooting her in the head. Typhoid Mary. From Daredevil. Supermaster assassin, kind of also multiple personalities. She had some pyrokinesis. She could just make things burst into flame. To me, she's just another perfect person of like, send her in there, go kill a bunch of people, slit a bunch of throats, get the job done. You know, because I can just see this team taking on like other like mafia families or crime organizations. You know, like I want you to go fuck the Kingpin shit up. I want you to go fuck the Magia shit up.
Right.
You know, like that kind of thing. And then lastly is my 2. It's another pairing, kind of like you had your Chapel and Ninjak.
Mm-hmm.
From Resurrection Man, the series which we've talked about in depth, the Body Double.
Yes, I was really jealous
Bonnie Hoffman
when you mentioned that.
and Carmen Leo. These girls were definitely like one of the shining moments of the Resurrection Man series.
And by the way, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I do a web series called The Blue Beetle Ted Cord Returns.
Oh,
I don't even know that.
Go wow.
But the Body Doubles, I put them in this series. I stole them from Resurrection Man and put them as catalysts as a Ted Cord Blue Beetle series kind of, you know,
well, they're so
story.
Awesome. They were like this like Thelma and Louise, evil Thelma and Louise.
Absolutely.
They were these hired assassins.
Set from heaven, right?
No.
No.
Hired assassins who work. No, they've got really like straightforward backgrounds, but they're like believable and fucked up. They're assassins who work for Requiem Incorporated, an agency for hired killers. Bonnie Hoffman is the daughter of a crime lord, and she wants to prove her worth to her father, while Carmen Leo is a former adult film actress who hopes to become a legitimate actress.
She's my favorite.
Yeah. Both women meet and become assassins and use many types of high-tech weapons, often concealed in or disguised as makeup, accessories, and such. So these girls would just come in, you're like, wow, look at these 2 hot chicks. And then they would just go kill everybody.
Yeah.
They would just go
so
fuck shit
they're
up.
your femme fatales,
They're
basically.
my femme fatales, right.
Nice.
So that's my team. And then my alternate I put as another guy who could kind of wrangle everybody was the mercenary Paladin.
Nice.
He's another guy who
He's another Punisher.
He's another Punisher, but he's like so about the money.
Yeah.
And he's got like low level super strength. He can work lethal and non-lethal, and he's just a guy who's like, oh, you're gonna hire me to do a job? Yeah, I'll do it. So he's like, he's got no compunctions. He's a businessman,
right?
But
so basically, if like Frank Castle just wires him like $20 million, okay, I'm there.
Exactly. He would be the guy of like, okay, you know what? Typhoid Mary is acting fucking crazy. I had to shut her down.
I think for $20 million, you can get somebody a little better, but you know, maybe I would put Paladin at $5K, $500K.
You know what? I'm gonna go with that actually. You know, but although inflation,
okay,
he might be going to like a cool mill now.
$750K.
So, we're gonna bargain with Paladin. Paladin, $750K.
I'm gonna talk this bitch down.
Yeah. This is like an eBay make an offer thing right now. We just talked him down. So without further ado, that is my team, and that is that's.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's us. That's the end of our podcast for this one.
Forever.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, wait, what? Wait, no. Guys, like us on Instagram first and foremost.
Yeah.
We've got a really killer Facebook page and Instagram page. We've been fucking killing it lately.
Also, if you're listening to this thing, I don't know, I call it iTunes, these podcast things.
Yes.
Or whatever you choose to listen to.
YouTube. Yeah. We're on YouTube.
Oh, we're on YouTube. That's right. A lot of
Yep.
people I know are like, oh, I have to shut you off sometimes at work because my boss is going to shoot me in the face. And I'm like, really? Well, then put it on the YouTube. So they do it on the YouTube.
Please leave us comments in the comments section. Tell us what
Yeah,
your
let
favorite
us-
Suicide Squad team
Let us know what you think.
comprised of.
And if you have any ideas for future podcasts, please let us know. We're always interested in what you have to say and
if you think,
ideas.
You think you're so special, you think you're so cool, then you want us to interview you? We'll interview you. We don't even care. We'll just find out
care.
about you.
We'll do it.
So what's in your short box?
Queue up.
And
Fuck.
with that, we'll see you at the comic shop.
This has been The Real Short Box. We'll see you at the comic shop. Thanks for listening.